Everyone, it's Joric. Welcome back. I hope you're doing great wherever you are in the world. Today's travel video, I want to talk about Rome specifically, and I want to talk about massive issues that thousands of people are dealing with in going to Rome and having tours canceled. And many times they show up for the tour and it's without notice. They don't know a few hours or a day ahead that there isn't going to be a tour. And I want to go into that and unpack it a little bit, because if you are going to Rome this summer, if you're going to have family members or friends go, please forward this video and show this to them, because we were just there. So Republic weekend, so the latter part of May, first part of June. And with that, the lines to get in the Colosseum, the Vatican, were insane for the shoulder season, because it wasn't high season or not there yet. But we had several people that for 3 days in a row booked tours for the Vatican, either through Viator, Get Your Guide, or something. And the actual tour operators, so not Viator, not Get Your Guide, or at the last minute said, no, we're not doing a tour, or oh, somebody's sick, or oh, something happened. And it happened to a couple 3 days in a row trying to get into the Vatican, an early morning breakfast and then a mid-morning and then an afternoon admission. And each time it was just a last minute, sorry, there's no, so you want to go to Rome and the Vatican's on your bucket list, you have to be very careful and try to figure out how you can book a tour. Because of these cancellations. And then as we were walking by the Colosseum, you see this massive humanity in these queues, and you get asked maybe at least 100 times if we want to do a Colosseum tour. And what's interesting is often we tell people, and we've done in the past, a skip the line tour to try to avoid the regular lines, and that way you can get in, see, and get out. And we've found a few things happening there where people are having their tours canceled. Sometimes they get noticed, sometimes they don't. So the two main places in Rome that you would want to get a tour to, and the two most popular, I'll say, is the Colosseum and the Vatican. And now thousands of people only have limited time. Sometimes you're going to Italy and you only have 1 or 2 days and you have things scheduled in Rome, and now you can't see them. And it's not because of rain. It's not because of something happened at the attraction that they had to stop. It's because of the tour operators not doing the tours. So there's a lot of shady business going on in Rome, and we've been going for 15 years now and have never had an issue, but it's now become an issue. I will say this, also what we're hearing is that oftentimes the tour companies or tour operators will buy up tickets. Now that we live in I'll say a post-pandemic world where many top attractions you have a timed entry to get into, they will buy up all the times and then resell them at a much higher price to the general public. So there's some weirdness that's changed. We were told that some laws in Italy changed to where now all these third-party companies are buying up all these tickets that didn't become a problem in the past or wasn't an issue. But if you're going, you want to go see those places, that's something that I want to be cautious about, and please let people know. You may think you have the tour booked, and it is booked, but it may not happen. With Get Your Guide and Viator, you do get your refund, so it's not like you're out of that money. But I would try to find, quite honestly, we've had a lot of complications from people we know through City Wonders, so I'm going to call them out and say they're not doing their job as far as actually having the tours. So with that said, if you're going to Rome, you want to see those places, I would try to double check, find some reviews on the companies you're using. And I don't mean Viator or Get Your Guide. I mean, look at the tour operator. It'll say who's actually running the tour and find out what's their history for bailing at the last minute or not having people show, tour guides not showing, etc. And you might have to end up doing some tours that aren't the Vatican or the Colosseum, walk around the Colosseum on the outside, see the Vatican from the outside, but not be able to see the inside, just because you may not be able to get or book a second or third tour if something gets canceled. So again, this isn't because of weather or because something happened at the attraction. This is strictly going on with the tour operators themselves not acting responsibly. So hopefully something will happen. but it's the first time in all the years going to Rome, regardless of the time of year, whether it be July or January or any time in between those months, that this is going on. Some of the locals, we talked to an establishment that's next to the Pantheon. Thankfully, the Pantheon used to be free. Now there's a kind of a timed entry and an entry fee, but you don't have to go through a third party. You can book the ticket directly through and get in, so you're not worried about a cancellation. But we talked to a vendor, a family that lives or operates businesses around the Pantheon. They just said, it's getting absolutely ridiculous with what some of the new laws are going into effect. So please, those are big attractions. We saw a lot of people frustrated when I say that. Hundreds of people, especially going on Republic Weekend, to be able to celebrate Italy's independence and be able to see the attractions, and not being able to get into the Vatican if that's on your bucket list, or to get into the Colosseum. You may never go back to Rome again, and those are the things you wanted to see. You may have to compromise, meaning you may not be able to get to them, and just make sure that until you're actually in them and seeing them, that the trip might, or the tour itself might get canceled on you. So it's just frustrating. I don't have any answers to it other than there's some shenanigans going on with the operators of these particular tours, but it's happening more often and on a daily basis. And when you look at groups and travel groups, Facebook groups, Reddit, more of this is happening. And I hope that there's a solution, because Rome is not one of the cities that talks about over tourism. Florence does, Venice for years, but not Rome. They take everybody, and they can even take more. But if this goes on, less people are going to go to Rome, because if you were able to go but not get into the one or two places you wanted to get into, it's going to be a problem. So I just want to make sure you have this information. If I get some updates on things happening with the tour operators or things being better this year, I will certainly make an update video for you. But it's not great news going to Rome. Just make sure those two venues, until you're in the venue and actually seeing it, something might happen. So as always, thanks for watching, and enjoy your travels.